I don't have my bell. I don't have a bell because we are out on location right now. So I don't have the bell, but he will ring it in, right?
Somehow.
Hopefully he can. Okay, well.
But we are here at The Grind.
Yes.
With some fabulous people.
Yes.
We had the opportunity of meeting them officially today.
Yes.
But I saw them on the news. Studio 10 a couple weeks ago. This is Miss Lynn, Mackie, and Darrel, Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And they did The Grind. And we were just sitting here talking with them in their fabulous boardroom. Came to tour the facility today. They have a great place here.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let's talk about tell us a little bit about The Grind.
Yes.
What is The Grind?
Well, the grind is I always tell people the grind is a concept.
Mm-hmm.
The grind is a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do, to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And we're grinding and don't even know we're grinding.
All right.
But in short, it's a small business development center that's geared toward helping entrepreneurs and independent freelancers to have a place that they can call home for all their professional business needs. And so we have office space, collaborative office space, meeting rooms, board rooms,
Yes.
for those people that are stuck in their homes working their small business job, their careers, and people that's working in coffee shops. So we have a place for them to come to call home.
That's right. That's
So you have a small business, or you getting an upcoming business, and you need somewhere to call home. The Grind is a great place to come and make this your home, and office space is available. I have a great boardroom for meeting spaces also. But one thing I love in talking with you guys, and I have to share this before we start recording, is just your testimony of just really stepping out on faith and trusting God. As an up-and-coming entrepreneur ourselves, we understand, we've seen how sometimes when you try to move out and do things, you have these great ideas in your head, and there's always that fear of getting started. Where do I start? How do I start? And a lot of people I've spoken with in the past about starting businesses, a lot of their testimony begins with, well, after my job let me go, or after this happened, or after that happened, this door, I was kind of just forced to do what I've been wanting to do my whole life.
Right.
And your story is similar to that.
Yeah.
Just share a little bit about your testimony of how The Grind was birthed.
Well, I one of the things about what you said is, we say this, that sometimes God allows you to be shaken up where you are, in order to move you out and move you higher, to take you to a higher place. It doesn't feel like it when you're in this situation. It feels like the world's coming to an end, like, oh my gosh, this is the end. But really, it's just the beginning.
That's it.
It's God shaking you up to get you in a place where he can really use you and take you higher. And so I love how Darrel shared today, in particular his story of, where God, and we both have similar stories in this realm. But I love how he shared this and was so transparent, allowing people to know, where he came from, and share a little bit about that.
Well, the main message that I was trying to get over today, because we of course we couldn't compete with the PowerPoints and all. But I wanted to talk to the people that was there, that was inspiring, and because I knew what it really took for me, and I knew all the obstacles I had and everything, and I wanted to let people know, and I wanted to let them see that it's not going to be all smooth. I mean, when you decide, when you make that decision that you want to own your own business, everything just may not be in order.
That's it.
And so I wanted them to have a snapshot of my life. Divorced, losing a job,
Three boys.
single father of 3 kids, and all of a sudden I want to own my business. You can't get no worse than that. I know Darrel Reynolds said today that unless your dog died, which
was close.
And so, but I had every kind of adversity you can have. But one of the things that kept me going is that my boys at the time, they were 10, 9, and 3. It was 10, 9, and 3, 10, 8, and 3, I believe, and so, but I knew they were looking at me each and every day, and they, and I'm, I can't let Daddy can't, I can't fail in front of the kids, and so they kept pushing. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and so, like I said earlier today, one client at a time and everything, just like you laying bricks, one brick at a time, and so, but I had to fight through all of those different types of obstacles and everything, to just keep going and keep going. And faith was the strongest thing that I had.
Yeah,
Faith was the strong thing that I had.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's why this place right now is centered on faith. It was faith that got us here. Let me tell you.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
as we took this track and when we, when God gave us the word that, hey, this is the path. Look next door. We were leasing, but no, now it's time to purchase.
That's right.
God gave that word because we were like, but Lord, the credit, the money, Jesus, the credit, the money, Lord, the money, but God said, but who am I?
That's right.
Who am I? Am I God? Am I your God? Yes, you are the God we serve. You have everything. So as his children, we know that our Father has it all. It belongs to us.
Awesome.
We must just stand on faith and believe.
Amen.
And when we do that, he makes those things that are impossible reality. And so as we sit right here at this beautiful boardroom table, know that it was God that did it. It was nothing of our own accord, but God, it was in his plan and his path. And when you stay focused on him, and I think that was the key in that, Darrel, that just no matter what, because I tell you, the enemy got busy. You must understand this. We've never seen the enemy. I'm telling you.
He showed his head like never before.
Oh, he was out like never. If you've never seen the enemy before, we saw him when you get on God's track and his purpose for you. You start aligning with your purpose, what God has for you. If you never saw the enemy before show his head, you will soon see his head.
And I was telling people, I was telling people all the time that that since we started this process, I have never ever seen the enemy work. The way that he was working, but at the same time, every time the enemy make a move, I also saw God.
I was going to say,
Amen.
I also saw God.
Amen.
So I mean, in a bigger way. I mean,
that's it.
But and so I'm sitting there watching. Like, wow. It's like, okay, the enemy do this, then God counter with this.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
The enemy do this, then God counter with this.
Knock it down.
And so we was able to see that firsthand. It was so amazing.
He was
so
fighting
amazing
for us. He was fighting our battle for us.
That's it.
And we can see the enemy right here, then we can see God fighting the battle for us. And all we had to do was walk through the middle.
That's it. Come on, put across that Red Sea.
Come on now. Seriously.
Yes.
And Darrel, one of my proudest moments of him through this ordeal, as we got close to 2 weeks before signing, this was one of the biggest things after we had fought through all these other things, so many different battles. But toward the end, 2 weeks before closing on this building, the seller was like, oh no, we want to pull out the contract. We had already purchased things for the building. We were purchased tables, this chairs, and we had designed for this building. We were on path. We were supposed to be here, nowhere else. But in that moment, they gave us 1 hour to make a decision to go up on the price for us, like $15,000. You got 1 hour to accept, or we walk away. And I was never more proud because this is when his faith stood up the strongest.
Wow.
In that moment where we were like, oh my God, we could lose everything in this moment. What do we do? 1 minute we prayed. And we talked to some attorneys. About 10 of them on both sides. I called my attorney. But they gave us only 1 hour. And in that moment, he stood on that faith like a man of God.
Wow.
And I stood there and watched him. I was never more proud. But he said, no, we stand. And that was the strongest stance on faith I've ever seen. And within 10 minutes before that hour was up, they called us and said, oh, we're sorry. No, we're going to go with the original deal.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
God moved.
Oh, wow.
But he stood still as the leader. He stood still and had faith in that moment.
That's what I love. Because a lot of people, you know that there are gifts in the Bible, but the gift of faith is different from the faith of salvation. And so a lot of people have never met people with the gift of faith. And that's what a lot of people need, to meet somebody with the gift of faith, so that your gift of faith in you can be stirred up. Or if you ask God for it and he gives it to you, that impartation can take place. because there's a difference between the gift of faith, and that's what I pick up from you two.
Yes.
I feel it. It's like a stirring.
It is.
The gift of faith to know that stand on it. God said
That's
it. Do it. If He said it, won't He do it?
A lot of people don't understand this, but you're absolutely right. When I tell you, I you tell some people, they're like, "Oh, you're a dreamer." You just, I don't care what they say. I understand the power of God, and I understand who He is to me. I understand His word,
That's right.
and what He says, He will do. God is not a God that He will lie. He does what He says He's going to do, and if we ask it, what does He say?
Yes.
If you ask, you shall receive.
John 14:14. All right, now.
That's it.
We stand on faith.
That's it.
I told my believer, that's it.
And I just love it because it's exemplified throughout this whole building.
It is. It is.
Like it's exemplified the spirit of excellence that's here.
Yes.
The rooms that have names over them, belief,
each room has
motivation, purpose,
Innovation.
I mean, it's just it's all throughout this building. And I think one thing I took away from this, from meeting you guys, is just really trusting God through the whole process.
That's right.
Yes.
Even when you're given an hour to make a decision that God has already given you the vision for.
Yes.
It's like just standing in faith and knowing where God wants you to be.
I'm going to tell you, Leon, I wake up every morning. This is something we share. I wake up and the first thing out of my mouth is, and I learned this some time ago, is, God, I trust you. I trust you. I don't even trust myself. A lot of people don't understand that.
I get it.
A lot of people don't understand that.
I get it.
This is where I've grown to. God, I trust you. Whatever you say, not my will, because Lynn will mess it up. Every time I'll step in it. Okay? But God, I trust you. When we walk like that, when you stand on that and really believe it in your heart, we cannot fail. We cannot fail. It's impossible. It's
So
impossible.
if you're out there and it's something you've been wanting to do and you've been believing God for it, and God's already shown it to you.
Yes.
We come against the spirit of fear right now.
Right now.
We bind the spirit of fear, doubt, and unbelief. Then we believe that God is raising up somebody somewhere to use their power, their ability, and their influence to help you to prosper.
Yes, Lord.
And then you just trust God.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
Trust God and step out on faith.
Yes.
Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
Without faith, it's impossible to please God. We talked about, you mentioned faith. I learned there are 3 kinds of faith. The faith needed for salvation, the fruit of the spirit faith, and then the gift of faith. And they all have 3 different operations. You got to really step out and just trust God in faith to do the impossible in your life, to open doors that no man can shut, to even tear down walls that men try to put up to keep you out of certain areas. You have to just trust God and stand on His word and His promise. For His word shall not return to Him void, but it will accomplish that which He's pleased to accomplish.
Yes.
So trust God. Anything you want to say before we go? I want to leave. You got some parting words of business owners or people that just trusting God in different areas of their life. What do you want to say to them?
Well, mainly that if you're out there and if you have an idea but you don't know what to do with that idea, then we encourage you to find us. Find someone that could get you here, and we would love to be able to listen to your ideas and help you to develop those ideas. If we don't know, if we don't know how to help you with your idea, then we can put you in front of the people that can help you. And so, because ultimately that's what we're doing. We're trying to help develop small businesses. And so just 3223 Springhill Avenue, Mobile, Alabama. Give us a shot. Come down here to look at the building, and we'll be more than happy to give you a tour.
Awesome.
251-476-4400.
Awesome.
Right there at the bottom of the screen.
It's all right there for you. But we love Darrel and Lynn. We thank you for inviting us in and for sitting down with us impromptu today. But Thursday with the Bills. You can look for this video. It'll be posted on YouTube and Facebook. Please share, like, comment, call them.
Yes.
They have beautiful space available. Come check them out. This is it for us. We love you. Remember to empower lives, change the world one person at a time.